I promise you, no matter how crazy you think the ending of Weapons is, it's actually 100 times crazier than you could ever imagine. But is it good? Well, I just watched the movie, so here's my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the film. So if you don't know, this is a new horror movie where one night at 2:17 a.m., all the kids from this one classroom just suddenly wake up and run out of their house. So the rest of the movie is kind of following this mystery of, well, what on earth happened to these kids? And to me, the best part of this entire movie is the performances. Like, it is really great all throughout. Like, Julia Garner, she plays the teacher of the classroom where all the kids disappear. She is absolutely incredible in this movie, and Josh Brolin plays one of the parents to the kid. And we follow lots of other perspectives of people in this town, but they were my two favorite characters. Like, they are giving their absolute A game and really give us just a great insight into like what would be going through these different people's minds if this tragedy happened. Like I said, there's plenty of amazing performances in this movie because it's constantly kind of shifting your perspective and whose point of view you're watching the movie from of different people in this town. It really adds an interesting layer to this movie of how the mystery starts kind of unraveling and you start slowly putting the puzzle pieces together as you're watching the film from all these different POVs. Even though I'm absolutely praising the multiple character POVs, I do think there's one in particular in the movie that we spend like a decent amount of time, like it felt like at least 10 to 15 minutes on this one character's point of view, and I honestly feel like it could have been shortened down to like one really quick scene or just completely cut entirely. It kind of feels like it's just killing runtime a little bit. With that being said, I think it's important to kind of just go in with the right expectations for this movie because you're going to see a lot of hyperbole of people being like, oh my god, the best and scariest horror movie of the year or the decade, and it is a really good movie, but it really should not be billed as like the scariest film of all time because really for the most of this film it's more of just like a drama mystery. There's not a lot of horror elements at all early on. When there are more horror elements in the movie, it really boils down to just like randomly spamming jump scares and just random violence that, I'm not gonna lie, isn't really like scary. I do feel like the horror elements of the movie were underbaked. It's not really a negative for the film, it's just something to know because the marketing has been like pushing the horror side of this so hard. But I do think viewing this as just a mystery is a really great film. Like I said, watching all the puzzle pieces slowly come together works for the most part, but I do have one kind of problem with the ending. It just feels like it kind of throws away a lot of the tension and just get a little too silly for my liking. Like, I'll admit, it is a very entertaining ending, and it's not a bad ending by any means. I kind of feel like it was just a little underbaked. Like, I kept waiting for like one or two more scenes with a couple of the characters to kind of like fully finish their character arcs, or maybe like one more reveal. I felt like there was waiting to happen the entire time, and it just never did at the end. Maybe that's just a me thing. Maybe you'll walk out of this and be very satisfied with the ending. I just kept feeling like, oh, this needed one more beat to hit to be a really great ending. And I mean, the director has literally came out and said like his writing process is just stream of consciousness. Like, he doesn't really have a full plan from the beginning. He just kind of writes what comes to his mind, and you can definitely kind of feel that in this movie. But again, that's just his style. Maybe it really works for you as it doesn't for me. Even these problems I'm highlighting with the movie aren't like things that ruin the experience at all. They're just things I think could have been improved a little bit, and it would have been honestly like a masterpiece. But we're still left with a really great, compelling mystery that has some really great moments in it. It's impossible to not be entertained watching this movie. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Now, here's your big warning. I am going to get into a few spoiler specific points for people who have seen the movie. So if you haven't seen the film yet, or if you care about spoilers, just click off now. And last warning, I'm going to reveal like the huge mystery of this entire movie right here. So if you don't want to hear it, click away. But my big problem with the movie, like I said, and the ending being a little unsatisfying, all has to do with the big reveal of what's happening to these kids, because the mystery and all the pieces coming together slowly feels amazing. Because obviously in the movie we find out that, hey, there's one kid in the classroom that didn't run away at night. He's just kind of the one lonely kid who didn't do it. What happened with him? And we find out, oh, it's actually his aunt all along that came to stay with his parents, and she's just conducting some spells that kind of controls these different people. And like, maybe I missed something, but I feel like I needed a little bit more explanation. Like, obviously she's very sick and dying, or whatever was happening to her. She thought either taking his parents under control and maybe more using them somehow was gonna restore her to like full health, and then that doesn't work, and she's like, you know what, no, I just need your entire classroom actually instead. And again, I feel like I needed one more line just explaining like, well, what on earth do you need my classroom for? What is the specific spell you're gonna do? Are you eating them? Like, let me know in the comments. Maybe I just completely missed it and they did explain it in the movie, or I'm just an idiot. I would love to be proven wrong in the comments. So if I missed something about like exactly why she's doing this, let me know. I feel like with something that's this serious of a topic of an entire town of kids disappearing, I needed a little bit more than like random magical witch lady just conducting voodoo on a bunch of people for some reason. Like I said, I have no problem. Obviously this entire situation was going to be something supernatural. I just feel like it could have been fleshed out a little bit better to be a little bit more satisfying in my opinion, and it feels like a little bit of tonal whiplash, but don't let that distract from the rest of the review. It is still a really great film that I had a blast with, and if you didn't see it at the end of the spoiler free part, I give it an 8 out of 10. If you want to see the rest of my movie reviews on the channel, click the playlist above my head right now.